Internet, Eric here. Well, I've talked the first three. Everybody else is talking this movie. Let's get it out of the way. Today I'm talking Candyman 2021. And yes, we're going to have to call it Candyman 2021 because, like the last Halloween movie and like the upcoming Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, they've decided to make direct sequels to the original film, but keeping the same fucking title. I don't know why horror is enjoying that. So yes, we have Halloween 2018, Candyman 2021, and I don't know what we're gonna call Texas Chainsaw Massacre because I don't know when it comes out. Anyways, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot, spoilers, specific scenes. I am going to say this right now. There will be some spoilers in this video, so watch at your own risk because this movie literally just came out last week. But I figured, talk the last three. Let's talk this one. Let's get the elephant out of the room first. Let's get like the hot button topic that everyone is talking about, whether pro or anti this movie. Okay? There has been a lot of talk about this movie, the word, how do I say this? Because I want to be honest in my opinion, but also not be disrespectful to anyone watching this. Especially some of I have at least two good close friends in the YouTube community, in the horror YouTube community, who are black, and I want to be super respectful to them right now, and anyone else watching. The hot button topic is a lot of what this movie deals about is police brutality against blacks. Now, first and foremost, this channel is a movie discussion channel. All right. I do not discuss hot button topics. I keep saying that, like this or anything on this channel, because I don't want that here. Because in the end, no matter what, there will be some type of argument. Now, first and foremost, I was very excited to see this film when I first saw the trailer, when they used the Beyonce "Say My Name" soundbite, and then I started to lose interest. Like I said, I'm being 100% honest here. Started to lose interest when I heard some things that Nia DaCosta said about what this film represents, which is fine. And then more of what Jordan Peele has said. And then I've heard what I didn't follow my dumbass didn't follow my own advice that I always say is watch the movie first. A lot of people were saying that this was putting white people in a bad view, burying cops, police officers, who I am a big supporter of. I will say that. And they were throwing the term racist around, and the problem is, honestly, I think so many people use that term now, and not to demean it or anything like that, or they throw that out with anything now, that I think it's kind of lost its meaning, air quotes, if that makes any sense. So I was very wary. I was like, there was lots of times, like, if anyone's watching this who I have discussed this movie before seeing it with, I was not interested at all. And I was kind of looking in between the lines. And then I watched one of my friends who is a black man. He saw this film, and I flat out, he's 100% real, honest. And I asked him because I knew he would tell me the truth. He's not going to sugarcoat it. He wouldn't bullshit for me. We respect each other enough. And I said, how is the social commentary? Because I think the social commentary in the first film was well done. Perfectly done. It was there. You could see it. You could feel it. You could read it. But it wasn't, so in your face. And a lot of people were saying, they were beat over the head with it here in Candyman 2021. And I asked him what he thought. And I would take whatever he said respectfully, and I would go into the movie using that. And he said, in the context of the film, it's done just how it's supposed to be done. So I went in there, thinking that, dropping all my thoughts, and I'll be the first one to admit I was wrong. Now, the social commentary, I think, was done well because of, sad to say, how society is right now. As a man who is a supporter of the police force, in this context, it's done well. It's not anti-white. It's not, how do I say this? It's not shitting on cops just to shit on cops. Because if you think about it, like Tales from the Hood talked about police brutality and all that stuff way back in the 90s. Anyways, now we got that out of the way. I will still say my opinion on certain things, but I will be the first to admit I was wrong not seeing it first and then forming an opinion. Now, that's out of the way, and I've said too much. The basic plot of this is, like I said, spoilers already, is we're following Anthony, a struggling artist. He is living with his girlfriend, who I think she runs an art gallery. And basically, he finds out the story of Candyman, trying to get inspired. He goes to Cabrini-Green, meets a man who works at a laundromat who knows the tale of Candyman. He hears the tale of Helen Lyle. And then basically, long story short, he starts to see visions of Candyman. And after beasting, possibly turning into Candyman. And then hilarity ensues. Okay, first off, the acting in this movie, I think, is really, really good. I loved the actor who played Anthony. He was very likable from beginning to end. Like, even when he is having a shit day at the gallery and he's drunk and he's pissed off, he's still got that likability to him. He's got great chemistry with everybody, with his girlfriend, with his girlfriend's brother, the guy at the laundromat. Everybody he comes around, his mom, he's got great chemistry with, whether it's a positive scene or a negative scene. Really, really good. Actress who plays his girlfriend. If you're new to my channel, I'm not good with actresses' names. Or, I usually say them by their characters. She's really good, just like the actor who plays Anthony. Great chemistry, likable. I love the man who plays the guy who works at the laundromat. He is really good at being that Judd Crandall. You know what I mean? The guy that's lived here all of his life, and he's seen some shit, he knows some secrets, and he's got that voice, that gravitas to him. He's like, I'll tell you what you want to know, you're not going to like what you're going to hear, type of thing. And he's really, really good. The other characters in this film, they're either there to be victims. The only one I really didn't like, and as bad as it sounds, I didn't like the gay brother of Anthony's girlfriend, only because I know he was trying to be I guess you would say, comic relief. I didn't like that. I didn't think he was funny. I did like the way he told the Helen story. But other than that, his performance was just there. Vanessa Williams, who plays, what was her name? Anne-Marie in the first one. She's here. She's Anthony's mom. So you know who Anthony is. He was the baby from the very first one. She's in the film for 2-3 minutes. That's a very powerful scene, though, with her acting. So overall, the acting is great. The way, I don't know who Nia DaCosta is, but I will say this: the way she shoots this film is really nice to look at. The overhead shots of, it's the homage to the opening of the first movie, but the overhead shots of Chicago with the smoke or the mist or fog or whatever you want to call it looked really good. I love what she did with the title sequence. I won't say that. The universal title sequence. She's very good at using colors. And I've said this on Two Bearded Losers a lot of times. I'm a color guy. That didn't sound right considering what I said in the beginning, but listen. When it comes to visuals, as much as I shit on Freddy vs. Jason, that's a pretty looking movie. When the use of the blues, the greens, and the reds. Nia DaCosta, especially that scene in the art gallery when Candyman's hacking up those two people, looks really great. The use of shadows, the use of color on the it's not a TV screen, but the movie theater screen, and you just see him, his shadow or whatever, and you see him through the mirror, and then the way you see the screen just rip because of his hook. It looks really good, the neon colors and stuff like that. So she's really good at what she's doing, the way she can hold the camera and get certain shots. Gore, we only really have one gory scene, but it looks really good. We have a really nice neck slit during a really cool intense scene, which only has one problem. Let's see, what else is there? Score was, to me, I didn't think it was that memorable, but it was okay. But going back with the gore, a lot of it is off screen and we see the blood dripping type of thing. I will say this: we've all seen the bathroom scene, or at least we've seen clips of the bathroom scene, at the high school or college or whatever it is, and because it's in the trailer. Very creative, again, use of the camera work, where we see the girls running back and forth, and it's just seen through one of the girls drop their compact mirror, and we see that, and there's like a little a bee buzzing around. So that was neat. Now, here's the things I didn't like. Now, again, I told you spoilers. There's a new twist on the Candyman mythos that I wasn't a fan of. Now, I like when the laundromat guy is telling the story of his version of Candyman when he was a kid. And he saw, I don't know if he was a homeless man or whatever, but he saw a man with a hook who was handing out candy to kids. They called him the Candyman. And one of the kids, I think it was a white kid, got a razor blade in it. And then he was killed by police. And then it stopped, but then the razor blades started happening again. So, innocent man killed by cops, which in this narrative fit. This wasn't overblown. What I didn't like about it is I didn't like, maybe because there's not really that much Daniel Robitaille in this. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Tony Todd. And the last time we saw him, because if this is ignoring parts 2 and 3, the last time we saw him was, say, 1991, 92, when the first one came out. Well, this guy's story took place in the 70s, I believe. 60s or 70s. And, could be the 50s. I'm not sure. Anyways, before I was born. And this Candyman is already established. And now, of course, he is the ghost of, like, the unjust, the social unjust, victims of violent crimes. Which I like that idea, but I just don't like the fact that it's physically someone else, because how do I say this? His ghost or whatever is attacking people now, even though he was murdered in, let's just say, the 60s, but we've seen Candyman appear in the 90s. I don't like that. Now, if, let's just say, Candyman was defeated at the end of part 1, and then now we have a continuing story, and now we have this new Candyman, that would be different, and I would probably like that more. That's just how my brain works when it comes like to continuity and stuff. So I'm 50-50. I like the idea how now that Candyman was defeated by Helen at the end, we are now having new Candymen, I guess you would say. I just don't like that timeline shift. A lot of people are liking the puppets. I kind of liked it once or twice, but then they kept showing it a little bit too much for me. It made a good thing, I don't know how you say it, a cool thing, too much. We see it too much. It takes away how much you would enjoy something. However you want to understand how I worded that. Let's see here. Okay. A couple more things I did not like is I mentioned the scene in the gallery where 2 people are getting killed. Really great scene, but I don't know who the fuck decided, like, 2 people are gonna have sex, right? And the girl's being all horny, and she ties them to each other with her belt. She's dead, and he's connected to her. So it's really cool. It's really intense. And then he has to. Someone made him throw in a line where he literally did the "must go faster, Jeff Goldblum line from Jurassic Park. That just annoyed the shit out of me. That was dumb. Okay, the twist at the end. Without giving too much spoilers away, I liked the twist. Okay? I liked who you found out the real villain was. That was cool. That scene was messed up. That was really, really, really good. Now, again, to talk about what I mentioned in the first 5 minutes of this, when the new Candyman was killed by cops in the 70s, that was fine. And we all know, like, this movie has a message. Now, me looking at it as myself, I got it. I didn't like how at the end a person was shot by the cops as they were lying down right as the cops busted in. That was a little too on the nose for me. I mean, I got it. What do they say? Subtlety is key. That's just my opinion. And then what the cops planned to do afterwards. I will not say what they decided to do. Wasn't a fan of that, but I understood how it was handled. So again, 50-50. However, I liked who, because we said, we find out there's multiple Candymen, basically. Because the laundromat guy says, Candyman's not just a man, he's the whole damn hive, something like that. So I like that. It's just like, it's like half and half. It's hard to say. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of people going into this movie who haven't seen the original, because a lot of them are thinking it's a remake. It's not. So, if you're one of those people that haven't seen the original, but you're going to go see this movie, see the original first, because when you finally see Tony Todd, who is literally in it, sorry, spoilers, he's literally in it 10 seconds. I thought his cameo was cool, but if you haven't seen the first one, you're going to wonder, who the fuck is this dude? Okay? But I liked it. A lot of people are like, oh, what a waste. I attributed his cameo, maybe it's not even a cameo, to like Luke Skywalker at the end of Force Awakens. Okay? One of my favorite scenes is the end of Force Awakens. We finally see Luke Skywalker after 2 hours, and we see him. He didn't say a goddamn word, and it's for like 20 seconds, maybe? So, overall with this, the problem is, I wanted to really enjoy this movie. I was like I said, I was torn, and then I cleared my head, and I went in, and I really wanted to enjoy this film, and I did. But I didn't love it. And I think the reason why is I really wished we had more Tony Todd as the main villain. Or we had more of him to set up who the new Candyman would be. I think that's what was missing in this for me. But there are strong performances, and I don't know what it is. Like, I think maybe I prefer my Candyman a slasher, because I really enjoy Day of the Dead Part 3, who everyone hates, of course, but me. Even Tony Todd hates that one. I enjoy Farewell to the Flesh Part 2 for the most part. I think that's kind of boring in parts, if you've seen those reviews or discussions. I think that's what's missing in this one. Like I said, I love the actor who plays Anthony's performance in this. He's really good at holding this movie together, carrying this film, but the problem is I wanted more of him dealing with Candyman, kind of like Helen Lyle dealt with Candyman, if that makes sense. I did like how the story of Helen Lyle is now like an urban legend, and she's now become more of a villain in the eyes of the people telling the story. But Anne-Marie tells the truth. I like that scene. So it's just, I liked it. I didn't really like it, if that makes sense. This might be one of those movies that requires multiple viewings for me, because those are out there. But overall, did I waste my time? Absolutely not. Was I wrong about a lot of the social commentary after reading and hearing what people are saying? I was. Only the stuff at the end that I mentioned, I wasn't a fan of. I think that was a bit too much, in my opinion. But as my friend said, in the context of this film, I think it fit well, let's just say 90%. But overall, did I like this film? I did. Do I recommend it? Sure. Will I get it? I'll buy it on Blu-ray when it's discounted. But I'm nowhere near the original, and I would place it under Day of the Dead. I don't know if I would have put it above Farewell to the Flesh. No, I got to rewatch that one, because that one was kind of boring too. So, overall, Candyman 2021, which is what we got to fucking call it. Why do horror movies do that? I hate that. Okay? Candyman 2021. It is a direct sequel to the first one. Okay, follow-up. So, I'll leave it at that. I'll say this. Thank you for watching. Comment below. Click the bell, all this stuff. Because this is such a touchy subject. That's why I started out with that little speech, I guess you would say, in the beginning of the film. beginning of the video. Keep your comments. I'm asking you guys, anyone watching this, especially people who I'm friends with, keep your comments civil. Okay? Like I said, this is just discussing movies. But I know how people are, especially on the internet, and a lot of my friends are like that too. And I'm even warning them, my friends, keep the comments civil. And if you're not civil, I don't care how close I am to you. I will remove your comment, and I'll just block you from commenting on my videos ever. because you've been warned. Whether you think you can say you think the message was too much. That's fine. Leave it at that. You can say there wasn't enough message. That's fine. Leave it at that. But also the way you respond to each other, if it's negative and a way to antagonize somebody, you're gone. Okay? Keep it fun. Keep it civil. Okay? So thanks for watching. Blah, blah, blah. Don't know what else to say other than cheers.